Oh, I think I fixed it. Oh, okay. Right. Now, I can bring the back on.
Anti-adventurers, anti-heroes.
Now I'm back.
Welcome back.
Ugh.
Go back.
Won't get into the tech issues, but yeah, we're starting a little later than normal, just for those who are seeing this later. But actually, you'll be in the VODs. Nothing's wrong on your end. Everything's fine. If I start sounding a little exasperated, there's a reason. It's tech issues. Don't worry about it. It's not with these fine folk. They're all very nice players.
I'm here now. How are you?
Yeah.
Hello, gamers.
Hello, gamers.
Adjust
Can we
glasses.
get F's in the chat for tech issues?
Put some F's in chat, gamers.
I don't... Oh, OBS, why do you have to be weird? You don't have to be weird. You're choosing to be weird. Whatever. Anyway. Hi. So, let us get everything underway. As I will say, hello everyone, I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian. This is the Electric Metropolis video game tour, and we're playing another episode of Fabula Ultima, the castle that would pierce the horizon. Let us get started for our eager players and listeners all. Their poem of the week. In the mountain's shadow, where cold winds wail, lies the city of Osta, veiled and tailed. Once a place of pilgrims, pure and bright, now cloaked in darkness, void of light. The path to Novio, sacred and steep, now haunted by whispers, secrets they keep. No longer the way for the pious to tread, but the trail of deceit where adventurers are led. Silver-tongued Drevos, with a smile so sly, weaves webs of lies as his fortunes fly. A master of words, both silver and gold, he sells false dreams to the brave and bold. Behind his charm, a dagger gleams bright, for those who cross him vanish in the night. Lyria Imbervale, with fire in her hand, holds dominion over this treacherous land. Her flames dance high, a beacon in the gloom, but those who follow may march to their doom. Her heart is fierce, her will like steel, but beneath the flame, what does she conceal? Zoran the Ash Hand, a warrior of might, cracks the earth with fists of fire and spite. Once a noble, now a man consumed by the promise of power, eternally doomed. In his molten gaze, a fury untamed, a servant of flame, forever inflamed. Lady Zevra, cold as the northern winds, her frozen heart where ambition begins. With eyes of frost and a glacial stare, she weaves her plots with meticulous care. A matron of ice, who with but a glance can freeze her foes or turn the tide of chance. And Father Aldous, the flame-born priest, who serves both the holy and the beast. With firebrand staff he walks his line, between faith and fury, both dark and divine. A man of the cloth, with secrets untold, burns with a purpose, both righteous and bold. So adventurers heed the call of the wind, for those who enter may not leave again. In the halls of the mountain danger does wait, in Osta's streets are paths of fate. The Pale's embrace is cold and near, a city of secrets, of whispers, of fear.
Sorry.
Lose 200 XP.
Sorry.
Wouldn't that be like 20
That brings
levels
down
in
to
this
level
game?
4.
Yeah.
It's 20 levels.
So, our heroic party, having left their train hidden in the hills, covered by a special camouflage, are able to approach the city and settlement of Osta. And as you come into the valley, the not the valley, but where this place is nestled between mountains, there is this city on the hill, surrounded from all sides. And the direction you're coming from, you find by road and witness the Electri Ignis Porta, the Amber Gate, a massive militarized fortress wall. It looks ancient, and it's ancient not by its age. It isn't crumbling or withering. It's the fact it is pristine and almost glowing, because it is in fact a magically enchanted gate from a time where sorcerer kings and magic was still in the veins of Coriastellum. But now it is an old barrier from a old fortress checkpoint from the lowlands of the Republic and the highlands and high mountains that lead to Mount Novio. You can see some of the outer city already, even as you're coming along the road, with various people moving about. However, from this vantage point that you see the city looks very busy and very active, but there is this sort of sorrowful busyness, this sort of dredging trudge that you can see in the city. Where you came from, Corio was this very busy, active, joyous place, celebrating a great harvest and people from all around the countless realms. Osta is tucked away in this little place with a walled city, but then that would be a testament to this place's history, which Lucius may have regaled you at length, and hopefully you ignored him, because he probably would go. He might go at length on the topic, because this is a very famous city in Corio. But now there's this massive camp or mini city on the outer north wall. You can see from where you are a smaller shantytown camp on the south side. And this is not a place that is bustling with trade and piousness. It is a place that you all know is being twisted for the ambitions of the Avantis family.
Yay!
Yay.
Oh, wow. Look at all those bright lights.
Ah.
Yeah.
Osta. Been some time since I've been here.
About what time of day are we arriving?
That's up to you guys. You guys choose when you left your train. You could have come here by daylight or by night.
I feel like we're more likely to get in the city without trouble if we come in the daytime.
Yeah, probably.
Just, I don't know, tossing that out there. Were we doing disguises? Is that right?
Yes.
Do I need my maid armor again?
And my boys are back at 0
Your boys.
after last time.
Last time on Dragon Ball. No, wrong show.
Yeah. Lucius, you're not going to be dressed up. You're going to be dressed down, correct?
Correct.
So you don't need a maid. But you will have bodyguards, so that's odd. Maybe you could do like a merchant disguise? Merchants have bodyguards.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you're a merchant, and you're traveling with more. And we're all guards. You got two local guards, and we're your foreign guards. Yeah.
Works.
Well, I can always hide my ears with a hat or a helmet. I look like I don't really want to put a helmet on over my ears.
I think you'll be fine.
For your disguises, I will charge you each 1 inventory point
Sold.
as you dig out its disguises and different changes of clothes.
Sure, that sounds fine.
Cool.
All as eyes moded. Oops, no.
So I don't need to change into my other suit. Good.
I think Vivius and Brinius largely can just stay in their regular soldier's uniform. Their prestige is by who they're walking around with, but they're in normal soldier clothes, so they just they're not in their parade capes that announce they're Avantis soldiers. They can just walk around and just be like, they could pretend they're just soldiers on march or patrolling or whatever, you know. They used to be soldiers. They're whatever Lucius needs them to be.
Yeah.
Is there a way that you can tie my token so that it would show the hit points, mind points, and inventory points that are on my character sheet?
They usually pop up automatically once you start messing with them. I don't know why they're not showing normally. Oh! What the?
Is there like a link that I need to activate? That
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
see?
I got it.
All right, thank
I
you.
did not. I have not set yours yet. I thought I had for some reason. I did not. Mind point.
Like what I've been doing is just every time we'd go to a new map, I would edit my token.
Oh, that's what was throwing me. I thought it was good. I thought it was okay. I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about it. It seems to be fixing itself. It wasn't.
It
You were
was
just
me
manually
doing
doing
it.
it.
It was me, Barry.
So there you go. And I will update default token. Yep. Save that.
Oh,
Good.
thank you.
There you go. Now that should pop up normally.
Appreciate that.
All right, folks. You're all in your disguises. Disguised as foreign travelers following around a merchant and guards.
Yep.
What do you
Yep.
do?
Well, I'm following the merchant, obviously.
Yes, let's make for the Ignis Porta. Oh, it has been some time since I've last been here in Osta. We used to have a summer home out here.
Wait. You had 2 homes?
Well, one of our summer homes was in Osta.
You had more than 2 homes?
Is this what they call a humble brag?
Oh, let me see. There was the one in Osta. There was the one in Carcini, and he starts like rattling off. Like he probably gets to about half a dozen before he just starts like you can clearly see he's just running them off in his head, and he's not even bothering to listen anymore.
How much does this place have?
As you come upon into the gate town proper, as it were, the gate itself, the amber gates, loom hideously high above you. This is a gate that probably once held a pass. Like there's like mountains abutting up to like here and up to here, sort of thing. And this is the initial part of the gate, and eventually got expanded with newer walls later. This part has been here since the Sorcerer Kings were a thing. So thousands of years ago, I think it is there, Lucius? Or 1,000 years ago, at least.
Yeah, definitely.
How high would you say the walls are?
They look like they aren't meant to fight armies off. They're meant to keep out massive monsters out.
Gotcha.
This is a dragon wall, or sort of thing. And even as you all approach it, you can all feel, since all of you have some magical tinge to some amount of ritual. I think the only one who doesn't have any ritual at all is Lucius.
Correct.
I think
wait.
and Zevin. So Lucius and
Yeah,
Zevin, you don't feel it as much. There's just the oppressive air of a big thing. But more in Aether, you can feel that there's a magical weight. Like, you get the feeling that if you wanted to cast a spell at that gate, it would be a lot harder than normal. Like, there's this magical anchoring to the Sea of Souls that kind of makes it harder to influence.
Gotcha.
And as you walk about, people don't seem to remark too much that you're outsiders or foreigners. I mean, three of you look like you're from here, but a lot of you don't, but that doesn't seem to bother anybody. That doesn't weird them out in any way. You see the various homes and buildings are like these old barrack houses that have been kind of converted into homes. And every so often you'll see like a little amber lit shrine to one god or some spirit or another. With like tiny little magical lamps, itty bitty ones, not ones you'd walk around a dungeon with, but like a little one that lights up the shrine. And you can see as you're walking along, there's like these little stalls that people have selling various minor artifacts and relics. Imagine a tourist town. Like, the finger bone of the great priest so-and-so, the shoulder pauldron of the great soldier, defender of the gate so-and-so, various bits and bobs, a splinter of a spear, 5 cent it there, 10 cent it there, I'll give you 3 for 50, that sort of dealing.
Yeah. That finger bone, I'm like, how do you test that for accuracy?
You could try to eat it.
Don't you dare. That is a priceless Coriustellum heirloom.
Might be good in soup.
I'll actually say to you, Lucius, most of the stuff along this strip is fake.
Yeah.
Some of it's real, but the real stuff isn't sold at the gate. That's meant to trick travelers.
Right.
Yeah.
There's not even a role for that.
Well.
That's just known among
yeah.
Stellan people. It's like, no. Be careful of the Osta gate. It's not don't buy anything from there. unless it's a gag gift. Like, hey, finger bone of the saint so-and-so. Like, no, it's not real.
Yeah. I love it. Just freaking tourist town. Awesome.
Welcome to Gravity Falls.
Yep. Well, here we are at the Porta. I wouldn't suggest purchasing much here. None of it is, very little of it is authentic. You'll find that stuff in the inner city.
Shoes, new shoes. Shoes blessed by the holy blood of it. And you just keep walking. Eventually, you come upon the gate. And you see in the low part of the gate, there are guards. The gates are open, but they are checking people who are coming and going. And they go, "You there? What you want?"
What part of the city would be? It's the Pillar of Ash. So Pillar of Ash Market, is that a marketplace?
Give me insight's part of it. Osta has changed since you've last been here. Let's see how up to date you've been on Osta's transformation. I'll give you +2 because you did check in with your family, so you have more up to date information than normal.
You said insight is part of it?
Yep.
Can I help him with the map of the Countless Realms? Incomplete, in parentheses.
You could help him with insight because you may have heard things people saying in town, but the map wouldn't be of any help.
Very
This
good.
is fun. So this is an insight. This is an open check, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I get a +1 bonus.
Oh,
because Lorekeeper stuff. So I have a +3 bonus to this.
I give you a +1.
So you get
Okay,
12.
12. Jesus.
I can also roll to give you a bonus.
Could get you to the vaunted 13.
And you said insight's part of it?
Yes, I did.
Not quite.
No, you got 10. 10's what you need to assist.
Oh. Okay, nice.
That's 13.
13. You think back, Now, the Pillar of Ash traditionally, historically, is a holy thing. It's the plaza, basically. The city was built around a small volcanic vent in the city, and that's the Pillar of Ash. It does spew out a little bit of magma and ash, but because of the connection that the Republic of Coruscant has with fire, the priests here were able to kind of contain it, and it's kind of how this city is very warm even in winter, so that it's kind of the central heating, but magically so. Very
So
old, again, an
cool.
old-fashioned way of doing it. Now it is a market. That wasn't the marketplace originally, because it'd be weird.
Okay.
It'd be like doing market dealings around a holy shrine. Like it's not verboten, but it's not. You wouldn't want to brag that you had a stall there to people back in Koryo. Because the real market would be in like Monsekile or Loa Rupes or Testimony. Like there's little shops here or there that you would go to. Monoclicia has like various lore stuff, or did anyway.
Yeah.
But Pillar of Ash Market has kind of turned into a. It's not a black market because it's above ground and totally visible, but it's pretty gray. It's. No senator would want to know that he was okay with this, but he's technically okay with this because he hasn't voted to make soldiers break it up.
Okay. We have some business along the north side of the Pillar of Ash on our way to Montseclesier.
You got a permit?
Permit. I believe we do. Hold a moment. Lady Duncan, I believe you brought a permit, and we're trying to. I think Lucius is going to try and he's gonna try and talk around these guys.
Willpower's part of it. Opposed.
Yeah. Yeah, of
Can I
course it is.
assist?
Certainly can.
Since you brought me into it.
Yep.
Dragged me into it, you friggin'
Insight willpower. This is a persuade.
I'm gonna go willpower. Just resist
Garbage.
there.
Oh, that's a 7.
I will help as well.
Hmm.
I probably needed more than a 7 though.
Well, that was a basic success, though. So now tonight.
We're
9 is what they got.
Uh-oh.
all right. I'm in.
You both need to give me. You both need to succeed in order for me. Yeah, nope. Unfortunately, that's only
No,
an 8.
no. I'm spending a Fabula on this. I'm re-rolling.
You're rerolling an assist, you sure?
Yeah, I was gonna say I might be better for me to re-roll because
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
you
point.
should. Yeah, that is true.
I rolled pretty not great.
All right,
No.
good luck with that.
Now, correction and make it. That's actually a 10 out of 9. They have +1 to the roll because there's 2 of them
Okay,
watching
cool.
you.
Cool. I will spend my 1 Fabula to the origin, the Noble Republic of Coriostellum.
You know how it's supposed to work and what makes sense to lie about, what doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I'm just gonna re-roll the D10.
Was it 2? Yeah. Way better.
Yeah, that becomes what's it? That becomes a 10, 11, 12.
Oh, go on. Oh, don't forget to pay your gate tax. 10 zenit.
Oh. Very well. A merchant of my caliber is more than capable of affording that, and he takes out 10 zenit.
They're totally scamming us.
Eesh.
Oh, absolutely. That hurts. And I assume that includes my bodyguards.
It does.
Yeah, 1.
They don't count the
2.
drone, thankfully for you, because they don't
4.
realize, well, but it can hide, and they kind of treat it like a magical lantern.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That is a trifle, and he pays it. He pays the 60 zenit.
We scoot in.
Can't believe it. That's the first time I've ever actually had to pay to go through the gate.
Should we shrink our tokens so
What
we
is-
fit in the city map better?
What is this country coming to?
Ooh, you got so many problems.
So yeah, as you get through the huge looming gates, you all gain resistance to ice damage
Interesting.
because of the magic within the gate.
A warm city.
It's a warm city. It is perpetually. It never snows in Osta.
What if I already have resistance?
Turns into immunity
Cool.
because it upgrades.
Cool.
Dang.
So whatever cold chill you felt from the mountains on the way up here, it's gone. It's just. It's like you're walking around in a heated city. Like it's like the whole city is heated from somewhere, which Lucius knows why.
You know, Osta is a very unique city within Coriostellum. We don't normally have particular affinities to magic here in Corio. In Corio. However, much of this city dates back to the last arcane age, and much of the magic has been deemed to tap into the local volcanic activity to hold the powers of the frost at bay. Don't ask me how it works.
Interesting. I bet this would make for a very good tourist city.
And that's when it strikes you the minute you say that.
Or
This
was
feels like this place should have way more travelers than there are. You're walking in even this part of town feels like a ghost town. It's full of denizens, people who live here, but it's a tourist town with no tourists.
Oh, are there like signs for like various like touristy type things, but they're all like kind of taken down and
Kind of taken down, faded. There's one place you remember someone does like a whole lecture on like look at the history of this. Like they do tour of the gate and they'll walk you up and down the gate and explain this was from this battle, that was from that battle. They're not there anymore.
So when you say that more, he goes, "Oh, what are you talking about? This is a wonderful place for the tourists. If you go over here, there's the, No, there's usually a man there talking about the Crimson Walk and and where's the He seems like legitimately confused.
Brinius pipes up and says, I don't even see the old veterans patrolling the roads at all. Usually when people retire, they come here just to act like city guards. Doesn't pay much. It's Osta. Who does crime in Osta? Well, pickpockets, I guess, but I don't even see any patrols other than the guys we walk by. Although I'm starting to think they weren't guards at all.
Yeah, they weren't guards. No way.
This is most peculiar.
So, do you intend to stay in the port, in the gate city, or are you going to move deeper in?
We should probably move further into the city.
A travel roll goes by. Ooh.
Oh, hey, that's a discovery.
Hey, I regained my inventory point.
Bring you more.
Me too.
I think because of Seven's thing, that is a discovery, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Dope.
All right.
A familiar face approaches your party. Familiar to Lucius, anyway. You see a woman with ice blue eyes, pale skin, dark hair. But you see the rich reds and golds of a patrician, a magical circlet matching Lucius's. It's actually it actually probably is the same kind of magic item. You see, there's other magic items at her wrists. There's one at her belt, and she is walking around with a spear. Although unlike Lucius's, which is this otherworldly, terrifying thing, hers looks like it was crafted and carved out of a glacier, and despite how warm it is, it's actually cooling the air around her.
And in a city such as this, that is most impressive.
As you find yourself in the company of one Severa Aventus. Who is this woman to you, Lucius?
Oh, huh. I would say she is probably, so I mentioned that the family has a summer home here. She is the member of the family, I would say cousin on my mother's side, who lives in sort of the Avantis estate year round. Hence why she has a slight more affinity towards winter. I would probably say, because she is here during the winter.
Someone has to keep the house in order.
Yeah. And then, like, you know, during the summer, the main part of the Avantis family might, I don't know, spend a week in Osta.
You there, merchant? Hold there. She calls out to you.
Huh?
She's walking up behind you guys.
Oh, wait a minute. Severa?
You're being a bit familiar, merchant. Who are you?
Don't you recognize me, Severa? And he just goes over and sort of pulls up the cap and...
She raises both her eyebrows. Her hand she kind of grinds the butt of her spear into the ground. She grimaces and then takes a breath. Dear cousin, why are you dressed below your station?
Well, it has been some time since I've been to Osta, and clearly things have changed here, and I thought it would be best to see things from the lower level. To get a...
Willpower's part of it.
Yeah, cool. And I've already spent my Fabula. Dope. Persuade. Come on. Oh, for...
17.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you want to see how it is with the low folk and the merchants, I see, and you want to feel among them. That's why you brought along your trusted honor guard Imbrinius Amphibius and are walking around with foreigners from 3 different corners of the world. What is going on? Actually, better thought. I want you to come with me. This is not a place for Avantis business. And she strides off, expecting you to follow her. Brittany's and Vivius look visibly concerned, because,
And Lucius just looks between Seven and Moore and Aether and says, I I think I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
Stepping looks like she's about to like blow a blood vessel in her brain and die.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like, I weren't we trying to like be in disguise? Why? What? I'm visibly confused.
Cousin,
Just-
force of habit.
Lucius, it hasn't even been a half hour.
Yep.
You didn't even make it through the gate. Oh.
Look at this rate. You're just gonna like, we're gonna get found out immediately, and you're just gonna drop dead mysteriously.
Are you
We'll follow
coming,
her, I
cousin, or are
guess.
you going to keep whispering
Yeah,
back there
come.
with your little friends?
He's following.
Very good.
Yep.
Do you all follow the Avantis party? She doesn't seem to mind if you
Yeah.
guys don't follow. She's more concerned about Lucius.
I'm concerned that
will-
splitting the party would be a very bad idea, but any ideas?
Can I perform a spiritism ritual
To what end?
to sense her emotions? I'm trying to understand if she's giving off a sense of malice or not.
You could do a regular insight roll for that. Ritual would take some mana if you wanted to use it that way. You could magically peer into her spirit if you want. So you can do. It's up to you. I can construct a ritual.
Um, Insight roll, you say?
Yep.
I think I'll spare my mind points.
Also, I'll point out that it is opposed because she's naturally hiding. If you failed this, you can try again with a ritual, which that's a static number. That's not resisting her. That's performing the spell properly, or the ritual properly.
I'm gonna go with Insight Will.
Okay,
I'd like to help.
certainly.
I'm already suspicious of anyone in the Avantis family.
Yeah.
I will spend a Fabula to re-roll that, as I'm a journeying merchant and have a better read on people.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep the 5, but re-roll the d10.
Okay.
Because that was a 2. So that gets me to 7, and 5 is 12.
And I am no help.
Oh, God's sake.
13.
7, please.
Nope.
We are no help.
She's immediately like, yeah, she's suspicious. Just because, like, you know, she's a Avantis and that means she's rich.
That's not incorrect.
Alright.
You want to commit to a
fair.
ritual? I will warn, if you whiff the ritual, it may have a catastrophic. It will have a catastrophic outcome, but if you hit it, then it works.
Is the ritual opposed or no?
No, it's against a static number. It's you casting the spell properly. I will. It's a. You're trying to. It costs 40 MP. Difficulty level of 13. It is an insight willpower roll by book.
Why is it a major one?
You're sensing
Medium
thoughts.
also has. I'm sensing emotions.
Oh, you're not going that far. You're just going into emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You could just do emotions. That's true. So the target number 10 MP cost of 30.
Okay.
What kind of ritual is this again?
Spiritualism.
Cool. I'm not sure if I've seen those.
So insight will. Da-da-da-da.
The magic of sensing presence and feelings of creatures to put someone to sleep or embolden their heart. The magic of the spirit.
I will spend a Fabula to reroll that.
Based on
again. Based on my theme, I have guilt from having let down Lucius before, and I'm going to be more wary on his behalf from now on.
fair enough.
I will re-roll the d10 at the very least.
Oh,
God damn it. I will spend another Fabula. Same thing.
Yep.
Good.
I'm sorry.
I'll spend my last Fabula. Heck with it.
Oh God.
Rawr. Yes, that gets me to 10.
On the dot.
So what does this quick little ritual look like as you peer into the spirit of Zevra Avantis?
Moore will attempt to clear her mind and reach out spiritually to Severa's mind. She is watching with a fairly intent stare. Like it's apparent she's studying her.
You get a sense of that the spirit of this woman is that of a cold and calculating noble. And I mean noble in the noblesse oblige sense. She takes her job extremely seriously. But it's a very cold, calculating mind. There's no affection against Lucius. No hatred either. But there's no affection. He's part of a calculus. He's part of an equation she's solving.
That tracks with what I know of his family. Okay. I'm more inclined to follow along at this point. Because at the very least, we might be able to reason with her and make it apparent to her that she benefits more from him being alive.
What is Evan Demerol?
Listen, she's rich and she's an Avantis, and I feel like I shouldn't trust her on principle because there may be something in. Oh, she might be able to benefit if she sells us out to Lucius's dad. She's automatic. Seven is automatically against her. She's not she's not looking at her for her intentions. She's looking at her to try to justify her preconception.
I'll throw willpower at you.
Okay, willpower. I'm rolling. Yeah.
Man, we are just.
RNG does not like us today.
I will leave you to your preconceptions, Evan Demerol.
Jesus Christ.
So do you follow after the party, or do you hang back and go somewhere else?
Yeah, now might be a good time to back off and scout through the city. If only she could leave her drone to follow.
Probably could, yeah.
That's our rogue.
I was gonna say, if you go off, I wouldn't want to let you be alone. Would it be cool if Aether goes with you?
Yeah, if you want, sure.
Okay.
I will say that technically the drone leaves the scene with me, but is there any way I can kind of justify turning it off and leaving it like a beacon?
I'll let you say it's off and kind of.
I lose it for a while.
Yeah.
It has no ability except I know where they are.
Yeah. Like you kind of stuff it into one of their pockets or hand it to Umbrinius and he'll kind of stuff it in his bag and you can ping it later.
Are you using your ability to like fade away, or are you actually just traveling elsewhere?
Yeah, she's just traveling.
Yeah, Zevra
Okay,
does
I'll
not
go
stop.
with you.
Zevra doesn't stop you guys at all. The only person that she was gonna bug was Lucius. When the rest of you when more follows, she doesn't care. When Zevin and Aether don't go along, he still doesn't care. So I'll describe where Zevin and Aether are as Zevra leads Lucius outside of the city to the Restisi camp on the south wall. This part of the city that you're in, Testimonium, as Lucius said but never bothered to translate, you see this part of the city is lots of densely packed, narrow streets, tall stone houses, lots of people moving around and squeezing by stuff, squeezing by you or letting you squeeze by them. It just depends on what's easier for everybody. You see there's various faded magical emblems on different parts, like on a wall, beside a window. This one's inside of a fountain that's barely dribbling. It's not like fully springing forth. And you get the feeling that these remind you of the magical sigils you've seen in dungeons, where they may affect how your magic works, like empowering, basically granting resistance or vulnerability. But these are faded. These haven't been attended to enough for their power to work. Someone probably could reinstate them if they knew how to do the ritual to repaint them, but no one's bothered, and probably haven't bothered for centuries. The one point of note, there is the main road that leads towards the grand plaza further deeper in, but there is one point of note, a tavern, the Emberwatch Tavern. This area here is more of a general, like grocers of sorts, odds and ends type of place, more for locals to restock their food. If you got as far as here and wanted to restore your inventory, you could do it here. It has the bits and bobs that people need to live, but nothing fancy. You can buy weapons or swords or magic items. That's really not what this is for. But over here is the tavern, is the Emberwatch Tavern. And there's various other people here. Testimonium seems to be a place where a lot of people live. This is more the residential part of the city than anything.
Yeah. As the population has gone down, everyone kind of has retreated towards this area.
Yeah.
I spend my 10 zenny and restore my 1 inventory point in case.
Pop into the grocery real quick, buy some stuff. Easily done. But the question
wow,
becomes,
I never saw a knife shaped like this before. It's perfect for cutting vegetables and other things.
So where do you two go? What do you do in Testimonium?
Yeah, well, Seven's gonna look at that fountain and grumble something about how it kind of reminds her of home, and well, I'm gonna get a lay of the land and then tavern. What do you think?
Sounds good to me. Let's just take a good look around the place and see what the people are into, I guess.
The two of you come into a rather lively place. You hear the place before you even get there. As people are drinking and laughing about this, that, or the other. And even as you walk in, you see that this is a place that is frequented by both locals, but also a variety of adventurers and travelers. But here, as opposed to inns you guys have stayed in before, even you guys, you have armor and stuff, but usually if you're just going to relax and have a drink, or you're going to get an inn, you'd kind of take some of your armor off, or maybe put your sword on your table. Like, you're not really worried about a fight. It's a safe place, especially an adventurer's tavern. Maybe a brawl, but no one's drawing steel. Here, everyone looks like they're ready to go. Everyone's armed, everyone is watching each other, but at the same time, there's this weird disconnect where they look like they're ready to go, but they're drinking and laughing. So it doesn't really make sense right away. The bartender and various bar people are moving around, handing people out drinks and food, but there's a wary eye. You guys don't draw any ill eye. As far as anyone's concerned, you're just more travelers. They don't even ask you to sit down or anything because you just kind of blend in with everybody else. Who knows? Maybe you're a friend of somebody's who stepped out or whatever. But one part of the room does have a group of individuals who are kind of taking up a corner of the tavern in this sort of pale green and white armor and clothing. And people tend to leave them alone. Everyone else is a mishmash. That room, that corner, whoever those people are, that's their corner. And over there you see a red-haired woman with bright green eyes that, of anyone in the room, she sees you. Like her eyes go, locks onto you, watches what you're doing, and then she starts talking to other people. Like she's taking a close note of everyone who comes and goes into the building.
I want to lean over to Seven and go. I take it going over to that corner of the room and saying, "Hey, you're in my seat" is not a good idea.
Yeah, it's no start a fight. We ain't locals here.
Yeah. Clearly they're large and in charge, as the phrase goes.
Just keep our heads down and our ears up and see what we can overhear.
How am I supposed to keep my head down and my ears up at the same time?
Hey, watch it! And someone kind of bumps into you, and they stumble back a little bit and are quickly pulled away by their friend. Like, no, don't start something.
Yeah, fortunately, I don't look too dangerous because I'm just wearing a robe.
That's
like my armor is just a robe.
That's part of why the guy probably bumped into you. Like, hey, I'm going to bully you. And yet his friend's like, no, don't bully people.
Yeah.
There are too many armed people in here. Leave them alone.
Yeah. My just to be clear, I am carrying the staff, but it's all wrapped up and disguised, and the most obvious bits that make it look royal are completely covered in wrappings and like a bag pulled over it in wrappings, so it just looks like a fancy staff that's been mostly covered up.
Which is a polite thing to do. It's a nice way to show you're not intending anything, or just to protect a valuable item.
Right.
You don't want to get dust on it. If you want to listen in for rumors, just get the buzz of the room. You're not going to be able to stand around for free because they're going to charge you. Because eventually, someone's going to notice you don't have beer or food, and they're like, nope. What are you getting?
Right.
There are way too many people in here for you to just lounge.
I have a question. Previously, Seven had produced a thieves bag to keep the staff in.
Mm-hmm.
Do we still have that thieves bag, or would I need to produce a new one at one point?
You would produce a new one. It would cost 2 inventory points because we're in a new scene.
Could I have spent Zenny while we were traveling here to buy the thieves bag on the way?
No. Inventory points covers the various bits and bobs an adventure has. So that way you don't have a laundry list of items.
How many inventory points do I need to spend to have it?
2.
All right. Well,
and you're able to spend 2. Before it was something only Zevin could spend toward, but because Zevin showed you it, you now can do it as well. Because you're like, oh, I can find those in any old shop. Okay.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 inventory points and put it in a bag rather than have it out where people can see it.
Yeah.
What should we eat?
I'm going to charge you guys some money. It is going to be... They charge 10 zenith for each of you. Which I will point out is a lot of money for a small village, like for a small city like this. 5 is the normal rate for a place like this.
Does it look like they're only scamming us, or are they charging everybody that?
That seems to be the going rate in this building. People are throwing out 10 zenith.
Sure.
10 zenith, fine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to start making more at some point, but sure.
Yeah. I will ask you each, you two together, sorry, an insight roll as you listen in to hear if you learn anything in this place.
Okay.
I'll give you +2 because you are listening in for rumors in a place where there's a ton of rumors. People talk here. It's not like people who are being secretive will do their. If they were going to be secretive, they're not meeting here, or they shouldn't be anyway.
Do we each get our own, or was one of us helping the other?
One's the main, one's helping.
Okay. Well, if you want to be the main, that's fine.
Yeah.
Insight to listen in.
We have a 9.
You gather that a lot of people are looking forward to signing up for the next quests that are leading out Mount Novio. And you learn that the lady at the back is telling people about the treasures she's earned. She every so often someone will go over to her and talk to her about one thing or another, and she regales them with tales of finding dungeons and battling beasts and getting grand treasures. That's why her and her friends are doing so well. That sort of thing. It's hard to miss. It carries across the room almost.
I guess my question would be, does it seem likely to me that she's full of shit, or does it seem likely to me that she's, telling true tales of her adventures? Does she look like she can back it up?
You can give me a new insight roll to read her, to pose for her, because she's trying to...
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that I would like to know if she seems like she's full of shit or not, basically. I have a 12, sir.
Can I assist on this? I don't technically hear her.
No, you can assist. You can hear her.
Hey, good roll, finally.
13, I guess.
19.
Oh,
Jesus.
So in other words, I can't tell if she's full of shit or not.
She is... It sounds so outlandish. Like, you've gone through some rather outlandish stuff yourself. So it's not unheard of, the stuff she's talking about. But you've never heard of stuff happening out here. But then again, you're not from here, so who knows? Maybe that's a thing that happens out here.
Right. Well, I mean, I know if we recounted our tales of adventures, people would think we're full of shit too.
And she does look like she's well armored and she doesn't look like some wanderer class pretending, oh yeah, I'm a this, that, and the other. Like, no, you're not. You're just a wanderer who's talking a big game. It's like, no, she looks like she's something other than a wanderer. So she looks like she has a few levels under her. How many there are, you're not sure. Because either she's level 100 or she's level 50 or level 20. Who knows?
Right. Who knows? Well, there is one thing that we might be able to get just by viewing her over. Does she have any equipment on her which appears to be legendary? Or something that we might have heard of that's the item itself is already...
I wouldn't say so, no.
Okay.
She talks a lot about her flame whip, but whips
It
can
didn't
be
show it
flame, they can be ice. That's not legendary, that's just magic. In Korea, that's impressive, but elsewhere in the world, that's not that weird.
Well, I mean, I'll just lean over to Seven and say, well, she talks a big game, but I don't see any legendary equipment on her, so I don't know. Maybe she's just suckering people in. What appears to be her goal with telling people all these stories?
To take up adventuring like her. I mean, all the everyone's kind of, a lot of people are coming here because they're eager to go adventuring. They've heard about the Dravos call to adventure up into the mountain, up Mount Novio. But you hear all kinds of stories about quests and adventures, especially at lower levels. You hear all kinds of crazy stuff. She's saying it's real. You can strike it rich. You can make it big. You just have to go out there and do it. And hey, you have a rest stop. You can come back to this town, sell all your stuff, or buy up new things, get up new parties. It sounds like the legend, according to her, the legend of this place being a great adventuring starting point. Sounds amazing. Look at me. You could be me too.
Sponsored by the local city's trade association. Anyway, I'll lean over to Seven and say, I don't know what kind of use in terms of information that person might be to us. What do you think?
Looks like a grifter to me.
Well, I mean, we're supposed to be here to find out things that are, whatever's secretly going on in this town. But it looks to me like she's just full of hot air.
Yeah. Let's. I don't want to bother someone who isn't being bothered. Let's bother someone who's quieter.
Good idea.
And we'll swing over to see where Lucius and Moore are. Lucius and Moore, you are led out of the city gates around to the Rest Easy campsite, where there are a variety of tents and pavilion tents and campfires and temporary workbenches. This looks like people basically, and you're seeing a lot of magic tents, and you get the feeling that some people, there's no permanent structure to this place. It's you set up a tent, you rest here for a while. When you don't feel like staying here anymore, pack up your tent and leave. There's very few things. The only thing that's permanent is the very nice pavilion that it's not in Avantis colors, but it does look like a very expensive magic tent. Almost on par with what Moore Duncan made as a project, but it's not quite as permanent. It's not well made. So she gets like multiple uses out of it, but it's not infinite. She does have to restock it every so often.
Well, Lady Duncan, this is very much new. This was not here last time I was here.
Here you see a lot of little. Actually, Moore will notice that there's actually a few little stalls of basically merchants, like level 5 merchant here, level 7 merchant over there. Like they're selling to adventurers because it's the same reason you adventure. It's adventurers are an easy market to sell stuff to. Sometimes when people buy are using inventory points, they're just looking at you going, "Could you hand me that from your bag?" Like, "Oh sure, cost this much, sure, whatever. It's 10 zenit, I don't care," Some of them even nod in your direction, more because they kind of see you are disguised, but there is a certain recognition between merchants that they recognize a fellow merchant. Some of them nod at Lucius, not knowing he's not actually a merchant.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them even make little signs at him, which Lucius misses completely because he's not a merchant of any kind. And there are some adventurers kind of sitting around campfires, talking among themselves, planning what they're going to do, talking about this adventure or that adventure. It's not quite so jolly here, but it does look like an active, massive camp. Like all these people are kind of working together to do different rest actions with each other or buy equipment off each other. And that's when you're all led into Zevra leads you into her pavilion, which is richly appointed. Various magical items across a couple of desks. There's like a special magic robe she has hanging off an armor rack that seems to be a spare of the one she's already wearing. There's a chest over there with probably bustling with various equipment and gear. That's why her inventory points are so high. That sort of thing. Well, he turns around. Oh, you followed along. That's nice, I guess. And this is...
This is Lady Moore Duncan.
Lady Moore Duncan. She raises her eyebrows at you. Looks at Moore. From whence do you come?
The Isles.
The Isles? And you're a noblewoman from there.
I pause, considering the question. My family has rank.
I I admit I am unfamiliar with the Duncans, but also have not been to the Isles. So forgive my ignorance. So I have to ask, once again, why are you here, Lucius? And don't tell me it's for the summer home, it's off season. And last I checked, you didn't have any particular plans to take up the priesthood or
No.
pilgrimage. You are a quaestor adventurer, after all.
Yep.
So what is it? Oh, tech problems. I thought the player was stalling. Audio cut out. Aha.
Cat got his tongue.
There we
Try
there we
leaving
go.
and rejoining the Discord.
Oh,
Sometimes
there we
that
go.
fixes it.
Can you hear us?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
So the question was, why are you here?
Oh, quickly before I respond to that, what was more Duncan's answer? Because that was like the last thing.
Um,
To the noble question.
a pause, and then she said, "My family has rank," in response.
Got it. Cool. And she asked, "Why am I here?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, my brother my brother and father have business up here in Osta, and I figured it would be a good idea to come and check up on the holdings.
Why would
I
it?
didn't want to make a big fuss of it.
That still raises the question of why a quaestor is off doing house errands. Have you ceased your quest already after less than a 5-year tour?
We have been very successful.
We have. Who's we?
Lady Duncan and my other two traveling companions who you saw with me in town.
Who immediately scampered off the moment they could. Nice friends.
They have their ways.
So you've retired from quaestoring then?
Oh no, far from it. It was simply fortuitous timing that I returned to Corio Stellum in time for the week of the Golden Harvest.
She narrows her eyes at you. And how, pray tell, did you get there so fast? Or here so fast? You don't know how to teleport.
Oh damn, she's good. That is the domain of one of my traveling companions, the one who went off to the market.
Oh, one of them.
I see. And you came into town disguised because...
As I said, I wanted to check in on the holdings, but I didn't want to make a big show of it. People tend to react a certain way when the son of a patrician waltzes into town.
As is your right and duty. Are you ashamed to be an Avantis? To be a
Oh,
patrician?
no. No, of course not. But in order to gain a accurate assessment of things on the ground, I figured it best not to make a show of it. People tend to put on airs when a patrician's son makes a big, showy entrance. And that can color the opinion inaccurately.
So,
And I'm sure that you understand the importance of a accurate impression.
I'm not a fan of occultist militarist tactics, although I have been forced to do them lately. I
Oh,
have the pride to wear my colors proudly. Though I do wonder if you are privy to Volicius's plan.
and this is the point where Lucius, he wants to try to get a read on her when she says, "Am I privy to his plan?" Is that said with like good or ill?
Insight's
Like,
part of it.
insight, and because I'm doing insight, I get a +1 to this, just
Can I
automatically.
assist?
Certainly can. Your assist will have +2 because you've seen her spirit. You have a much deeper knowledge of what she's like than he does.
Nice. Well,
The +2 can only do so much.
Thank you.
I tried.
Hey, it's a 12 anyway. What the fuck?
Oh no.
Oh
You are-
no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Well, I'm not advancing any of the clocks because that doesn't make sense given who she is.
Hate this.
We're just having one of those nights, gang.
Sometimes the dice tell a story.
I call hacks.
Man.
That's my first crit this whole game. Forget hacks.
Jesus.
That's like a ultimate crit too.
Oh my god.
The maximum result ultimate crit.
She stares at you as you stare at her. She looks at more, looks at you, looks at your spear, looks at you. Let me tell you what I see, cousin. I see what I think to be a band of adventurers sneaking into a city to learn information about the ruler of that city. Well, not the ruler, but the most influential persons there, the Avantises. But an Avantis would not need to hide in any way. You could just look up anything you wanted in Corio. You could ask your father, ask your brother. You should know more than me, but you don't seem to. I think you're trying to counter what your brother's up to, aren't you? That's why you're here.
And does Lucius get the impression that she has completely read him for like front to back?
Yeah, she seems to have incredibly observant. She's a very insightful person. Or if anything else,
Yeah.
actually more like as you were observing her, she caught you and just waited you out and observed you and has been thinking this whole time about how you've been acting.
Yep.
You can try to lie and back out of this, but
Yeah,
she seems that
no.
she took the ability.
No, he knows he's been made.
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
bet-
the problem. He knows he's been made, and I think she knows that he knows he's been made.
Yeah,
Like, a 20 with like yeah.
yeah.
Lucius
I use
just
the
sighed.
opportunity to unmask. I learned
Yeah,
the goals and
right.
motivations of a creature of my choice.
Yup. Yeah. Uh-huh.
As if he didn't already unmask himself in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he blew it. He just sort of slumps to the side and he says, was I really that obvious?
No, I'm just that good.
Despite being my mother's niece, you really do have my father's eye for people.
I'm going to
Definitely an
forgive your
advantage from that
youth
one.
and assume that you meant that as a compliment.
I did.
So, you disapprove of his father? I will say with a question mark at the end of that sentence.
How much do you two know about what's going on here? You seem to know quite a bit, but you're missing some information.
Now that's the confusing thing. If what we know is common knowledge to you, the fact that you haven't tried to silence us and imprison us leads me to believe that you're not entirely on board with what he's doing either.
Am I on board with sending nascent adventurers off to their deaths to pave the way for some blustering triumph? Yes, I think any decent and loyal member of the Republic would be against that. But perhaps your brother and father are simply misguided. I mean, I am far more intelligent than the both of them combined, so maybe they just
Well-
don't see it, but I doubt age
Well,
and
It's
that
something
is-
darker.
Who is it?
Force that we've encountered in the Darklands.
That explains the spear.
Ah, yes, well, finding this is slightly disconnected, but we encountered her in the same round of adventures.
I see. She goes to sit down. She points to where some folded up like little campaign chairs. You know what I mean? Like little wooden things with a little bit of canvas, so you can kind of squat down. As she sits down in her nice little plush chair, she lets you grab medieval folding chairs, essentially.
Medieval folding chairs.
Well, sit down and explain everything to me. I'm gonna help you. I need to know what you know.
Well, best we understand, my brother, at the very least, has fallen under the sway of the dark sorceress Morwenna. It's possible my father has as well.
I think he has.
And as such, they seek to attain something at Mount Novio. I believe for my brother, it is purely to, further himself and further the interests of the House of Avantis. But I believe the sorceress's reasons for pushing him in this direction are far more sinister. And that's information that we seem to lack. What it is that my brother is exactly seeking in the mountain.
He's seeking triumph. With an army of adventurers marching their way up to their doom, they will scout Mount Novio and its surroundings with such modern clarity that he will have a map to present to the Senate, and he will be able to amass a grand army, a legion upon legions, in fact, multiple legions, to destroy the great fire spirit and quiet Mount Novio forever.
Great fire spirit. What does Lucius know about the great fire spirit?
Insight's part of it.
Cool. Insight with +1 bonus because lore master.
Mhm.
Hey,
19.
Nice.
So, the Great Fire Spirit is a grand arcanum of Mount Novio. Basically, a fire spirit, a very powerful fire spirit that Arcanum would go. He would pilgrim to such a place to draw that thing's power and then unleash its power in other places. So this is a Arcanum. So usually, you could buy Arcanum from shops for a certain amount of money, but if you want to save money or find more powerful Arcanum, you'd have to go to grand places like Mount Novio.
Cool.
So the Great Fire Spirit is why it is part of that whole theme of how your republic is very dependent on fire, believing in forging things. All your mythology about forging steel certain ways or bronze a certain way, that comes from all that derives from the Great Fire Spirit being how people got fire. Fire so hot you can melt metals and shape them however you want. And you wouldn't need, so powerful in fact you did not need a magic to do it. Like, you don't need to be a mage to shape the world. That's kind of why Osta is the way it is. It's a pilgrimage for people of the more modern school that you grew up in, of being able to forge the world without magic, even though a magical thing is telling you how to do that. That's been forgotten. You like get that role. That's been forgotten for a long time. It's just one of those things. It's not modern history. This is from since liberation, since the birth of the Republic. And unless you're a priest or a lore master, most people don't bother to remember this. As you can see, most people don't come to Osta for pilgrimage as much. You don't have a lot of spiritualists, you don't have a lot of sorcerers, and you don't have a lot of arcanum.
Lucius looks up at Severa. So he wishes to silence the arcanum magic within the mountain and claim the rights and powers that would normally fall under its domain for himself.
He also would get to brag that he brought peace to the mountains. The problem with the Great Fire Spirit is that great spirits, great arcanum, attract lesser arcanum, including beasts, elementals, and spirits. Not to mention the wild beasts that already enjoy the fruits of such a dangerous place. It's why we can't explore up that mountain. The mountains to the west are almost impassable because of Mount Novio. Which is to our benefit, I would argue, but I think your father disagrees with that sentiment. I mean, what price to pay for consulship? Defeating a legend.
He just furrows his brow.
Perhaps this is my Outlander whiz speaking, but killing a great nature spirit does not seem like a wise course of action.
I would agree with you. I have no earthly idea what exactly would happen if I've heard of Arcanum being destroyed and lesser Arcanum being destroyed. I've never heard of a great Arcanum being destroyed, ever. I have no idea what that's going to do to the magical, to the Sea of Souls, or to the elemental ties we have in the mountains. What that will mean for the Republic.
As a spiritist, would I be able to take a guess?
Insight's part of it.
Cool.
Cool. I'll do Insight Will. No idea.
It is far too removed from how you understand spirits. Arcanum aren't summoned this way or dealt with this way in the Isle, so.
I shrug. That's sad. Never mind.
With that, I swing over to Aether and Zevin Demeril as they enjoy the fruits of the Amberwatch Tavern. No one seems to be bothering you two, but I think you two were trying to find someone a little quieter to learn information from.
God.
Yep, we were scanning the room and listening in on conversations and hoping to find someone a little better informed to what's really going on in this town than someone who's basically just trying to like collect as many adventures and get them into the adventure in life as possible.
I will say that you, after spending a bit of time and eating and drinking a bit, you're pretty certain most people here are very ignorant of what's actually going on in Osta and in Mount Novio. These are, for the most, all the foreigners are fresh from their travels, and they're coming here to get a drink real quick, kind of like you did. Like you found a tavern and went, let's go to the tavern, which is a natural thing adventurers do. The locals either seem to keep to themselves and don't want to talk to anybody, or if they do talk about stuff, they're talking about like little things. The price of cabbages are up. Have you heard about the latest tax increase? Did you see have you heard of the chariot game? I lost 20 zenit on that. That sort of stuff. Like, they don't seem to be connected with. If they do know, they don't care, and most don't know. The only ones that care to know are the adventurers, and they're trying to do what you're doing. They're looking around for a lore master who knows anything. And even the 1 or 2 lore masters they're like level 5 lore masters, so they're not that good. Right. They're like, I don't know. I've heard of Osta. I've heard of the spirits out here, but like most of the information stuff you kind of observed on your own. You get the feeling you're not going to find any. The most knowledgeable person in this room seems to be that lady, but not trusting that everyone else here seems to know less than you do.
Got it.
Well, I want to find some people who are like, they're quiet, but they don't seem upset. Seven's better at sniffing this stuff out than I am as a player, so I'd like to trust it to the dice.
Well, that's why I'm saying mechanically you guys have already rolled to try to find new information. There is the only information you were able to ferret out was her. There might be someone in here who knows something. You just haven't noticed who they are.
Yeah. I'm thinking after we've enjoyed our meal and looked around the place. Oh, go ahead.
I have an idea. If you're willing to go around buying people drinks, you might get someone to talk. That would cost you 20 zenit.
Well, I was going to say 7. Unless you want to like burn some money and loosen some lips that way. Maybe we should like leave this part of town and find another, because it feels like this is where all the newbies are. Like, this is where all the people who don't have a lot of experience are, and we're not going to get anything good from them, I think.
Or
7, and she's kind of reluctant generally to spend money.
Yeah.
Alternatively, you can spend, I will say, 3 inventory points to basically bribe adventurers with adventuring gear. Like, you're basically giving someone else 3 inventory points worth of here's random stuff that would be helpful for your adventures. It's like, oh hey, I got bonus plus 3 inventory points. I'm happy. I just saved myself 30 zenit. You might find an adventurer who might know someone in town that knows more than here. They just haven't bothered to go talk to that person.
Yeah. Deal.
Yeah, 3 inventory points later, you make a lot of friends with low-level adventurers who don't have as many inventory points as you do. And they say, they point out that there is a priest or hermit that lives out of the Broken Sanctum, that big old ruined temple in the center of town. Rumor is that he knows stuff about it. He's lived here longer than anybody. So if anyone knows anything about what's going on here, it's probably him. I don't want to go there because I'm kind of drunk. I'll probably go there tomorrow. But hey, You want to go? It's not like he's selling information tech. The guy's not even probably there. You know,
by the way,
you gave me free stuff, so I'm not gonna. I can't afford to pay you for it, so I'll pay you with info.
yeah. I see a lot of people like rolling up here, but they all seem to be at once. Any reason in particular?
I mean, money's to be had. It's like a rush, I guess. You mean a gold rush? Says the lore master in the party. Yeah, that. There's a lot of quests that are being offered around here out of the Via Questoris. Yeah. You must have heard of them.
Right. Yeah. I'm more of a cool wanderer. She poses like it is cool. It's
I'm just
cool to
gonna,
her.
Stand beside her and hold up an arm above and below her to like show off her pose.
Yeah, because like this is basically a fancy way of saying she's a hobo.
You mean a wanderer? There's a class for that.
Look at that leather coat. She's cool.
And actually, the thing is, these adventurers don't seem to be too judgy about it, because most of them are vagabonds as well. They're low-level adventurers. They barely have any money or any gear. The fact they got out here is amazing in its own right. Which means, I'll give you for free, this is a hard place for new adventurers to... Like, this would be the beginning of someone's adventure. Like a level 3 character or a level 5 character. A level 5 character is someone who traveled with somebody briefly to get here. And didn't do any questing. They just traveled from one spot to another. So you're seeing a lot of people who, even with your fake pose of acting like you're just a wanderer, they still seem impressed because you have an air of... You don't seem to feel like you're in danger. Like you're not scared of these people. And it's obvious. But they don't seem to mind that because you're giving them free stuff and you're friendly. So... You get that look from some of them that they think that maybe you're gonna give them a quest, like maybe you're actually here to tell them something, and then it's like, oh, you're not telling me. Okay, you're not the quest person. Okay.
Just we're gonna head out. We got some chores to do here to run, but keep us in the know about what you're doing and all that. I might be able to offer you some pointers.
Yeah, I'll look for the famous inventory hobo. Someone elbows that person. Vagabond.
Sure, we'll go with that. And
Yes.
I think we've learned all we can here.
Oh yeah. Are we gonna make our way to the tower then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh, to the Broken Sanctum, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Broken Sanctum at sea.
And another travel roll comes and goes as you travel through Testimonium. And as you travel, there is a sense of some level of danger. It should be D8, but it's being reduced to D6. A lot of it's because as you're walking through town, unlike other towns you traveled through, there's no wandering guards. Like usually, even a very peaceful town will have a town guard or two just to keep some level of peace, or someone loses something, could you help me find my ring? It's like, okay, I'll help you, Miss So-and-so, to find your ring. But there's no guards, not one. There's just lots of adventurers and lots of denizens.
Yeah.
And then there's every so often there's a gang. If you ever see anything that looks like a town guard, it's a bunch of guys in pale armor, like pale whites, pale greens, pale blues,
like local neighborhood watch dudes, right?
More like
Or
some
a
sort of
gang.
guild or mercenary band, or syndicate even.
Syndicate. There's a good word.
Yeah.
But
Probably what's his name?
Yakuza, maybe?
No. Silver Tongue Dravos.
Ooh, yeah.
All right. Check this place out.
But you get to this temple easily enough. And it looks like an impressively huge, grand temple. Probably on the same scale of temple as the Eternal Flame one you saw in Choreo. But in just sheer size and height. But it looks run down. The glass is kind of broken. The doors hang ajar. People walk by the place. Some people doodle on the side of the building. Whatever magic this place had, you don't feel a whiff. Like the gate you walk through had a ton of it, even though it's so old. This thing looks like it lost all of it. Whatever it had is gone, stripped away. So much so that even the paint is falling away. And it is dark in there. Like there's no lights as the sun is going high, so it's around noon by this point, and there's no, in a big building like that you might have like one or two. You might see like one or two torches or maybe a magic lamp or two. In Korea you'd see candles and little lamps mostly, but here it's dark, abandoned.
Well, it's a good thing you have that magic lantern, don't you?
Oh yeah. I'll pull that up for one inventory point.
Certainly. You have a light.
Don't you still have that Archon thing? Your minion?
What?
Didn't you have a flaming minion Archon?
And I have my magic lamp that I stole, but my little droney guy is not here.
Yeah, it's with Duncan and I.
I'll look around and say, yeah, you're right, he's not floating around. He's not currently broken again, is he?
No, he's so we can find the others later. He's on the ghost
good
bad.
idea. Good idea. I'll take the staff out and have it ready in case if we come to an altercation in this dark building.
You feel it hum in your hands as you take hold of it. You feel magic crackling out of it as if it's ready to snap at any second.
I adjust it to deal physical damage while I hold it.
The head of it looks a little more bulky, and the other side kind of has a counterweight that helps you move it a little easier. But it looks like whatever you hit this thing with, it's gonna hurt.
Oh yeah.
This thing, like, there's like a magical hum that goes around the head of the staff when you have magic stuff in it, or you shoot things with it. This thing just goes, no, I'm just a big heavy weight. Whack things with it.
That's definitely true.
You enter the temple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. We're looking for somebody, so.
Give me insight. +2, because you do have a light as you're wandering around this ruin. No travel roll. There's no anything that was dangerous has long left. This is just finding
I got
something
a
useful.
+1 for my ring, so I got a +3 total. 20.
He's really slow in the rolls today.
I think I'll stick with that 20.
As you wander about, you see that this place, whatever it has, it's a temple that's been stripped of every bit of gold or silver or bronze, copper, any metal that you could pick up or rip off a wall is gone. Even some of the wood that was for chairs and stuff, or like bookcases, that's been broken apart and taken. There's like maybe some splinters here or there. It looks barren. Anything that's left behind is moldy or cracked, or this place probably had an untold wealth. And as you wander around, because you don't let yourself get discouraged by the place looking abandoned, eventually you do see a lone figure. An old man with a staff that flickers briefly with motes of embers as he seems to be kneeling before it looks like there would be a statue where he's kneeling. There is no statue. That statue, being made of marble, was subsequently shattered and all the marble was stolen, so it's just like a little pillar where a statue once was, the pillar itself being too heavy and thick to be broken. Although you can see someone tried. He seems to be kneeling there, and you almost forget it. You almost walked right by him, because he doesn't move, he doesn't make any noise. You just kind of, you just see him, and it's like, oh, there's a person there.
Weren't we here to find a person?
Yeah, you're the friendly one.
What was the name of the guy we were looking for?
They never told you a name.
They just said the priest, the old priest in here.
Some old priest guy. That's the rumor.
I'm gonna walk over to the guy and say, "Are you an old priest guy that people are talking about in town?" No offense if you don't like being called old.
He opens his eyes, and his eyes very slowly track over his head, very slowly turns. He looks up at you because he's kneeling.
I grin and give him a little wave.
And in his eyes, you see the look you've seen in magic users who've been in the Darklands. There's this sort of haunted look of people who've seen terrible, terrible things but have survived it.
Okay.
But he looks, his facial features and everything else seem to, and even his like priestly robes, as tattered as they look like Koryo wear. So if he's been to the Darklands, he doesn't look like he's been there. He's from there.
Yeah.
I am a priest, young lady. I do not mind being called old, but we are all older than our juniors.
I'll hold up the hem of my robe and give him a little curtsy and say, "Pleasure to meet you, sir. My companion and I were hoping to hear what you may know about what's going on in this town."
He stands up, leaning all his weight onto his staff. The staff, even though he's leaning into it, it looks like it's rooted into the ground when he does that. It's plainly it's magical, and he basically climbs his way up his own staff to stand up properly, and then just kind of hangs onto it for dear life, which it doesn't seem to mind. What would you like me to enlighten you about?
Turn and look at Seven.
Well, we kind of wanted to learn about the city and the region. We've traveled a long way.
What of the region would you want to know, young lady?
Oh, I'm on the spot. I'm on the spot.
There is no rush.
When he says that, Ace is going to say, "On the contrary, there appears to be some sort of adventuring rush. I haven't seen so many young, fresh-faced adventurers all together in one place, ready to throw their lives away for coin since I left the Darklands."
Lucre and glory tempts the young and old. Thus, such is at least believed to be an Osta. Well, not Mount Novio, but the coin and glory come not from the wilderness, but from the bragging and elucidating of one's adventures and spoils.
Huh. What's so important about Mount Novio then? Sorry, yeah, I'm not from here.
Mount Novio is where a great spirit resides. Where Novio calls home. And such a great power brings into it elements of fire so hot, so pure, that even radiant light can be brought forth into this countless realm. So, if one were to seek magic, seek trinkets, one could find such. If one wanted to test their mettle and train their soul, they could do that here. But they are being told that it is easy. They are being told it is not an ordeal, merely an adventure.
Mm.
The ordeal of Mount Novio is one people train their entire lives for. And people a quarter my age, half yours perhaps, are going out there.
Ooh, that don't seem right.
It's because it isn't. It is inglorious. It is irreverent. It is disgraceful. I advise you not to be enchanted by the promises of pale men and women.
Oh. Okay. Well, thanks for the warning.
Mm.
Been hearing some weird stories from out here, so we figured we'd come in.
Token borders. Fuck.
Eh? Pardon?
Don't trust the people with the silver token borders.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to turn and look at Seven, and then I'm going to look back at the old priest, and I'm going to say, but there's still something about this whole thing that I can't wrap my ears around it. What is the point or the motivation or the reason behind herding up all these young adventurers and throwing them into the fire like this? Why would they do that? What do they hope to gain from it?
He stands upright a little bit. Like the question gave him some energy. And then he actually lets one hand come away from his staff, and he rests a hand to his chin and strokes his beard and thinks deeply about the question. He kind of goes quiet for a considerable amount of time. And at the very moment you think, did he fall asleep? Is he not paying attention to us anymore? He speaks, like just at the exact moment. I have to roll to see if he figured it out. Because you're asking him to insight on something, which he might figure out.
Seven's wondering if he died on his seat there for a second.
Yeah. I love the idea that like he knew the exact moment to finally talk when we were ready to give
You
up
old
on it.
man.
That's so funny. That's actually a pretty good roll.
I would speculate that we are not seeing a rush of zealous fervor for Novio. No one wears the tabards or performs the rites. I see no spiritualists save those in the Lower Rupes. No. You send lightly armored, poorly equipped people up a mountain as cannon fodder to pave a way forward for a much more robust group. Though that would mean they're either foregoing the ordeals of Novio in the Pilgrim's Path, and instead making a road of sorts, either deep below the mountain to the sacred places, or high up to Novio himself, though. I will admit, I do not know why one would cheat at such a thing. The journey is as much part of the ritual of communing with Novio as meeting Novio or seeing the sacred place. Suppose one were to fight Novio, but that is a fool's errand, a certain death. Much to fight the almighty sun or to drink up the sea of souls. It's pointless, meaningless.
I'd like to sort of incite my own knowledge of what do I think the sorceress would have to gain from this shit.
Ooh, insight. I'll give you that. I'll give you +2 because you've dealt with the sorceress a couple times.
Yeah,
And I'll actually give it to you on top of that because some of your memories are starting to bubble forth.
I'd also like to point out that I have a 2 bonds of hatred and mistrust towards the sorceress, if that applies in any way.
So to activate those, you would spend a Fabula, and you would get you spend 1 Fabula, and whatever the amount of emotion you have for her is the bonus. So you have 2 things for her, so you get +2 to your roll for 1 Fabula.
I see. I think I'll take the roll straight with the bonus you offer and save my Fabula for a reroll if I need it.
Yeah.
And you said it was insight +2?
Yep.
Okay. And I got +1 from my magic ring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that.
Well, you think about it.
20.
Yeah. She's a person who wants immense magical power, and there's something with great magical power up in that mountain. Imagine if she was able to seal it in some sort of magical artifact she probably took out of the Darklands somewhere. Mind you guys took pretty much all the really important ones, but there are a couple that you guys left behind. She may have taken one of those and plans to use it against Novio to contain it or, oh, heavens forbid, control it or unleash it.
Right. Well, I'm going to lean over and say quietly to Seven, this feels like something that the sorceress put them up to. And that's probably a mistake on Aether's part since we're in disguise, but we haven't used our names with each other, right? But he will get to overhear Aether in disguise telling Seven that, she believes that the sorceress, this feels like something the sorceress is, behind the scenes pulling strings to create. So he can overhear that, and if he wants to say something that he's overheard, like based on that, that's kind of why I'm leaving it open. Like it's an intentional gaffe.
He does not interject.
Okay.
He politely waits for you two to have your conversation.
Right.
He doesn't turn away or nothing, though. He doesn't pretend he didn't hear it. He heard it. There's no way he didn't.
Right.
He's just not interrupting.
Yeah.
Like
He's
we
just
already
polite.
know that Morwenna is, involved with the Avantis family somehow. She's gifted the eldest brother that spear and given him great power, and appears to be involved with the patriarch of the house, right?
Yeah.
So this has to be part of her grand plan somehow. She must have something terrible planned.
Like, well, what could be more powerful than the sun on the earth,
Well, that's what concerns me.
Hmm.
Wouldn't she seek to dim it or snuff it if possible?
Or keep it. The little lantern. Something looks quietly at their own little magic lantern.
Yeah, keep it on her desk as a keepsake. I'm going to turn to this priest now. I'm going to say directly to him, are you familiar with Morwenna, the Dark Sorceress?
She is a legendary sorceress. Her dominion over the Dark Wood is known even to a hermit such as I.
What would you say if I were to tell you that she is plotting some great dark plan of some sort involving one of the great patrician families of the nation.
I would be unsurprised. Sorcerers have long tempted the men and women of Corio. Magic is an allure that corrupts the Coriastellum soul. It is only in divine light that we find salvation, a lesson many forget. For that path requires ordeals and sacrifice, and cannot be bought by money or influence.
Yeah.
We depart from this quiet place and look back to the Rest Easy camp, where Zevra is sitting with Lucius and Moore. Are you quite sure your traveling companions will be all right? They aren't familiar with Coriastellum, and Osta is a place that has changed much.
Indeed, however, my companion, Seven Demeril, is quite adept with traversing just about any urban environment I have found. It wouldn't surprise me to find out that she's already uncovered half of what you've told me here today in the brief time we've been talking.
Well, then I begin to wonder. How do you intend to stop them? Not your friends,
Well-
your father and brother, I mean.
Well, we have only just arrived here in the city. We, he just sort of scratches behind his ear. We were kind of hoping to come up with a plan once we got here.
Whatever plan you do, tread carefully. The Pale Syndicate has many ears and many eyes and many long knives to counter those who would frustrate their recruiting drive.
Additionally, in order to get up here, we did have to sneak out of Corio, and it is my understanding that when my brother gets up here, any hope I have at being able to act discreetly in my official station will be rendered completely moot. Hence the need to travel incognito.
So, why should I let you blunder into what I'm working on and not simply send you back southward and gather up your friends before they get themselves killed?
Because one way or another, we're going to wind up in the thick of it anyway.
I have a talent for that.
You speak of dealing with a sorceress, of dealing with patrician matters, and with one of the most powerful syndicates in the countless realms. Why should I risk Avantis' blood over this, and not have you hog-tied and bundled away on the first wagon south? Because I can do that, and I don't think you could stop me very easily, Lucius.
No.
Bernice and Vibius
no.
kind of they get on guard a little bit because they can feel
Yeah.
her, not malice, but she's
Mhm.
holding her spear a little more tightly. But you two don't feel you don't feel that malice. You don't feel like you're in combat. You just feel like she's reminding you. You get the feeling she's at your level or higher.
Mhm.
Not that she knows what level you are at the moment.
Yeah. Because we see what is being done, and we know it's wrong. And we're doing what we can. But we need more information that you seem to be able to give us. And when we have the information in front of us, he looks at more Duncan. We've done some truly incredible things. We've driven darkness out of places before.
Give me a willpower roll to try to sell Zebra on this.
More please, assist.
She is going to
Yes.
be resisting because she thinks she's smarter than you. She's half right.
Of course she does. Come on, please. Okay. Don't roll another, okay, that's 14.
Yay.
Darkness. You've driven out darkness, have you? That sounds like you've encountered something more than just bedroom terrors.
Indeed, the Dark Sorceress, as mentioned before, we fought her to near standstill once before. But more than that, we were able to drive a dark force that had been plaguing the Duchy of Wokomal.
We prevented their Duke from becoming corrupted.
Then I'll tell you this, cousin. Velkan Dravos, Silvertongue, is the man you have to make friends with, or defeat. But frankly, I would not advise you to fight him. His Pale Syndicate has their stronghold in the Via Questora. And if he sees you as an enemy, he will hunt you like a boar through the streets until you are no more. But if you make friends with him, make him think your talents are his to command, he may reveal to you where he's going to go or what he wants. Alternatively, you could probably seek out one of his lieutenants, the Lyria Embervale or the Ash Hand. Beyond that, I am staying out of direct involvement myself. I have my duties to the Avantis estate, and I am trying my best to ensure that adventurers have some sane place to actually prepare for, rather than the usury and deceit that the Via Questoris pretends it has.
Right. There is much to be done. And by the sounds of it, very little time. How likely do you think it is that my brother has a direct line of communication with Dravos?
I would say that Volusius is a man who trusts the lessons of the Republic. That to be overly trusting in magic is to be defeated by it. So I don't think he will trust anything but a messenger with written handiwork. It will depend largely on whether you came here by horse or by magical means. If you came here merely by foot and horse, which if you came here by Golden Week, you must have come here faster than any horse could ever dare. So you have some time before a message arrives. Though I would hazard to say, he thinks and thinks, and the GM will present a clock.
Yay. Oh, and that's a clock that we can set back with stuff. AKA, the message gets waylaid. Cool.
Worst case scenario, you have maybe 6. Best case scenario, you have about 6 days ahead. But it will depend largely on whether they find the shortcuts you did, or if someone meets them halfway. Or worse yet, if anyone's waiting at the Electra Ignis Porta to whisk a message off to Silvertongue.
Very well. Then we have that long to find out what they are planning and attempt to circumvent it.
Didn't Silver tell you what they were planning?
I mean, yes, in the broad strokes, we know what the end goal is, and we know vaguely how they're planning on doing it. But like thus far, we haven't encountered any weak points. We haven't encountered anything that we could do to foul them up.
Okay.
And of course, I must ask, as a matter of course, what of the Avantis estate here in Osta?
The house in the Secula Cia is being maintained, but I merely keep a thin serving staff there, for its walls are riddled with spies and scrying eyes. It is not a safe place, and until I know that the Avantis family has him well in hand, I will not trust my fate to some syndicate leader. Nor should you. That house is no safe place.
Wise indeed. All right. We will find a place to lay low for a time being while we perform our activities here in the city. We have our ways of getting messages to you. Now that we know, presumably this is where you are primarily based out of?
If I'm not here, a message can be brought to me in due time.
Very good. I may send Vibius or Umbrinius to check in on matters as well. No one will question it.
Oh, and I just realized, because Zebra named out all the main lieutenants and the lead guy, that is 15 Ultima.
God damn it!
And you each get 3 Fabula. Because you've learned of
Just
3
collecting
villains.
these like He's just collecting these like Pokemon cards.
Jeez.
Dang, I am loaded.
2.
That is. Oh.
You know of 3 local villains who are teaming up to lead the syndicate here. And Zevra, I wasn't sure if Zevra was going to turn into a villain or not. Depends if you ticked her off or not. Right now, she's an ally, so she won't count as a villain.
Hopefully we keep her as an ally. Oh,
Hmm.
Well,
Um,
I will leave you to your matters then, and I will attend mine. A pleasure to meet you, Lady Moore Duncan.
Pleased to meet you too.
She eyes your alchemist bag for a second. And then just kind of, you can see her eyes staring through you for a second, and then immediately she turns away to go do something else. Whether she clued in that's an alchemist bag or not, you're not sure. Because it wouldn't be obvious to someone who isn't an alchemist, especially someone as far away from her as you are. It is clear she is not an alchemist herself.
Mm-hmm. And as soon as
That's good.
Lucius and More Duncan leave the tent, Lucius just looks at her and goes, "All according to plan."
Bibius and Abradius give more a look and a silent shake of that was not part of the plan. And then immediately stop when Lucius looks back at them.
Next time, perhaps we don't reveal the disguise to your relatives.
Yeah, that's Yep. That is a most wise, Lady Duncan. Most wise indeed.
Hmm.
And presumably we'll head back towards the city proper.
That what you guys do? You head back? You're trying to head back in?
Yep.
So, traveling from Rest Easy Camp to the Electri Ignis Porta, there's no roll. It is safe travel between the 2 places. Traveling through the gate into Testimonium is a roll. You don't have Zevin with you, so it's a D8 roll instead of a D6. You're fine.
for now.
For now. You do learn of similar places like of the Grocery of Testimonium, the Amberwatch Tavern, and that this is a residential area. Lucius, to elucidate you, this is a place that this hasn't changed much, honestly. It always looked like this. But then again, a residential area of a city usually doesn't change much, short of war or crisis.
Mm-hmm.
I will say to More Duncan, the grocer actually has a master merchant in there. That's how they're able to always make sure this place has enough food no matter what's going on.
Nice.
Also, they seem to be selling at fair prices.
Well, Lady Duncan, I'm sure that you were more than ready to ply your trade here. You'll find the people of Osta are more than ready to make a zenith or two.
I'm a little unnerved by how quiet it is here.
Oops, sorry,
Yes.
excuse me, sorry. Oh, watch your head, sorry. No, you go ahead. As you move by people move by you. The only noise is literally people passing by you every so often, or getting out of your way.
Yes. This place was a lot livelier a year ago. It's a shame. I would have loved to have shown you it during the summer months.
Tavern sounds really lively. Lots of singing and laughing. And Brinius and Vivius look excited to go there. Of course they do. It's the big tavern in town. But they're not going to just walk off without you.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they know you've been having travel rolls. They know you've been in danger. It's like, oh, let's not walk off without our charge. He might get jumped.
You wish to go to the bar?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I think Vibius agrees. Vibius nods eagerly. I'm just thinking that we should have a bit of relaxation after. I mean, the train's fine and all. And Zevin's train is well maintained. But
some local cuisine wouldn't go amiss.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds very good, and the two of you can keep your ears out. What say you, Lady Duncan? May I treat you?
Thank you. I will happily accept.
And yeah, I guess we're gonna head off to what was the place? The Ember Watch?
The Ember Watch Tavern.
From 40 leagues away, 7 Searsburg up. Treat? What? Treat? Sorry.
Actually, good enough timing as it is. We snap back over to your time with the priest patiently standing there in the dark, lit up by the tiny lamp that Zevin has.
Oh, sorry. Do you want me to turn that down, or you okay with the light?
I am fine. Thank you for asking.
Well, I hate to leave without asking for one last bit of wisdom from one who is obviously so learned and well-traveled as yourself. I was curious, to whom were you praying here at this pillar? There's no statue left of whatever being you sought to commune with.
I pray to Corio, founder of Coriastellum, to Novio, the grand arcanum, and to the many-fold grand spirits that keep the Republic safe. Though Corio is chief among them.
I see. I'll give Seven a look again, and then I'll turn back to this priest and say, were we to uncover evidence or information that any of those things might be in danger from the sorceress's machinations, would we be able to count on you as an ally against her?
Give me willpower as part of it. There's no opposed. You just have to convince him that you're sincere.
Okay. Well, I am sincere in this case, so that's good.
That's why there's no opposed roll. You're not lying to him. You're trying to just get him to understand.
Sure. Oh, that is not a good roll. I'm going to use one of those many great Fabula points to my truth-seeking nature.
Yeah, I'll take that. Just throw it on the table. I can't take it from you.
Yep.
There. Thank you.
I was in the process. Thank you. And both of those were bad, so I'm just going to re-roll.
Yeah, really. 1 in 3. Yikes.
Oh, that's more like it.
I can see in you a pursuit of truth. And I can see in both of you that you have suffered ordeals and mastered parts of yourselves you never thought possible. You may not be priests, but you are, as I, bound by fate. Whatever Fabula awaits you, I will endeavor to aid, if you believe an old priest can be of aid.
I'll give
Hey.
a little curtsy to him. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You're saying that as if you haven't already, like, majorly helped this out, you know? Thanks. Really, yeah.
I'll give him a curtsy and say, anyone, even those who are not bound by fate, can always do something. Those of us who are bound by fate, our actions are apparently destined to have a greater impact on the countless realms. So, even if you don't foresee your actions as being particularly important in this situation, it's my firm belief that everyone's actions could be important if they're simply made at the right time. Thank you for your time and your enlightening conversation.
He nods quietly to you.
We never did get his name, did we?
No, you should have.
Yeah. I kind of want to ask him, but I don't want to give out my own either.
Yeah, you notice he didn't ask yours either. He's like, hey,
No,
you
I
don't want
know.
to tell me your name? I'm not going to ask. Maybe there's a reason.
Right.
None of my business. A
Still
hermit
seven,
greatly
yeah.
appreciates people who keep to themselves, so.
Sure.
Seven will still, like, reach into her pack and rummage around, and I like to spend one inventory point to give him a nice gift.
Aw.
Literally no reason.
He takes it. He basically has to wrap one arm around his staff so he can use both hands so he can brace
I can
himself.
carry it if you want.
And here, look, I can take it. And he holds out his weary hands, shaking, so they're both kind of cupped together, so he can take the gift. And then he very, almost reverently, examines the gift, like turns it in his hands very gently, examines it, as if it were a holy text or a relic. And then he very quietly kind of reaches down into a little satchel, a little pouch at his belt, and he kind of opens it up and kind of puts it in there, and very carefully seems to sort it so it doesn't get lost, so he can find it quickly again. And then he very carefully closes the flap of his pouch again. And then he nods quietly to you.
I hope it's not too much of an aside, but when you mentioned that you spent inventory to get him a gift, my mind immediately went to the thought of being like the most tasteless, worst choice imaginable. You know, like
That
underarm
bad.
deodorant and other self-care things to intimate that he smells bad or something.
He
Like,
would
I don't
take
know
it
why,
with
but
the
that's
same
what popped in
level.
my head.
He would take it with the same level of reverence. That's the kind of guy this guy is.
I was just
You're right.
thinking
I
that's
do
what popped in
smell.
my head.
Thank you very much. Like, oh,
Honey, sorry.
I was just telling a joke. You don't have to take the soap and okay, you're putting the soap away. Okay, that's
But no, that's a beautiful gesture. I apologize. That's just where my mind went. I'll
You
just
have
sort
that
of,
little faith in your friend.
I guess I'll make a motion like I guess we're ready to go, Seven, or
Yeah, let's go.
Alright.
It was nice to meet you, mister.
if I have no idea how he could contact us. I'll poke my ears up. I mean, and say, if you need to find us, just ask for that rabbit girl in town. There aren't many of me around.
This, as with many things, I will keep in mind. And seeing that you're both starting to leave, he turns. He looks to the place he was praying, and then you can see him considering if he wants to keep praying at this spot. He seems to stroke his beard for a bit, and long after you leave, he will be still stroking his beard for a little bit and decide, nah, I'm going to pray somewhere else, and he wanders off to some other part of the temple.
And it takes him 20 minutes to get there because of his staff.
Yeah, as he very slowly tick, tick, tick to the temple. Where do you two head off to after leaving the temple?
Maybe we should find the others because we just found some information that they definitely haven't found. Because we're smarter and better than them.
Well, didn't you like leave your drone with them so we could find them quickly?
Yeah,
Let's do it.
exactly.
Good idea.
So you go back down to D6 as you're traveling back to Testimonium.
Opportunity.
All right. Hold on. I have to look something. I have to look up my notes. Cause I have to find something that's useful to you. Thankfully, I took a lot of notes in case you did get discoveries. I just didn't think I was going to plumb this particular well again in the same session. Amazing.
We have gotten more mileage out of our travel rolls than I imagine any group in the history of this game ever has.
Oops, wrong place.
We got folks here who are designed for good travel rolls.
I know, but it's funny. Like we found whole cities in the middle of nowhere. Multiple
that was
times.
the
We found those
funniest
three
one.
cities back to back in the place that's supposed to have
Yeah.
no one.
It's hysterical, right?
Man, these Darklands are like more heavily populated than the actual like major countries.
Imagine how nice it was before the sorceress was a thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing that should make you think. Oh, parts of the city. You're in this part of the city, which means I have to look at these entries. Which means I feel like I'm being thick. Nope, too far. Okay. This part of the city, and you're in Testimonium, which means there we go. Oh. All right. So I might as well point this out. I need a marker for it. On your way to the Ember Watch Tavern, you will discover something along the way. Because you don't take the main road, because you've been through Testimony, you kind of take some shortcuts really quickly. And I imagine Zevin, being a slum dweller, is used to going through narrow alleyways and stuff like that, and taking quick shortcuts through and stuff like that.
Yep.
So it's not
Slum
that,
dweller. She resembles that remark.
Yeah. Look, Seven can say what she wants about the Republic of Coriostellum, but we do make some good back alleys for her to
Scuttle through.
Yeah. We do have some pretty good back alleys.
That doesn't sound like a compliment.
You discover what appears to be an entrance to an ancient catacomb.
Wow.
Tucked away in between buildings. It lists over its door in faded letters, which you bothered to actually stop and look at it for. That's why it's discovery instead of, because there's lots of old stuff and statues that you walk by all the time. Who cares? Unless you're a historian or a lore master. But you kind of hang about for a second or two. just to look at it and make sure it's nothing important. And it says over it, Catacombs of the Arcanum.
Oh.
Hmm.
You now know where this is.
Dead things.
I'm just going to look at that and say, that sounds kind of important.
Can't type. Arcanum. There we go.
I'm going to take out my map of the Countless Realms and make sure it's added to my map.
Yeah, once you've discovered it, you see the hex, as it were, that lists Osta. It gets a nice little add to the legend to it that indicates Catacomb of Arcanum found here.
I'll show it to Seven and say, look, my map's still updating itself.
Oh.
Yeah, I like to imagine it's the thing where, like, in the game you mouse over the city and it, like, lists all the, like, key
So
locations.
places you can go, yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'll roll it back up and put it in a scroll case for its usual safe place.
But
I guess
eventually,
we can get back here if we need to. Sorry, go ahead.
eventually you are able to rejoin up with Lucius and more at the Emberwatch Tavern.
Oh, hey, it's Poser Tavern again.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I gotta admit, Emberwatch is a really cool name for the place, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad it's full of posters.
yeah, 7, Aether.
Beep boop.
No.
Well, buddy, I missed you.
Beep boop.
And
A lot of eyes kind of look over at the beep boop noise, and then promptly people try their best to do insight rolls and fail miserably to understand what that is. One or two lore masters of the room look, hey, that's a drone. Neat. A couple of wanderers go, hey, that's a companion. Neat. Most of the room, I have no idea what that is. Can I steal it?
What is that?
Probably not. What is that? Yeah.
So, did either of you two have any luck?
She'll kind of like look around. and
maybe
kinda
this
rise.
isn't the best place to talk about it.
Agreed.
We should get a private room.
Yeah, would Lucius know where a good place to get a room would be? Because here's the thing. If we're under the understanding that, like, anywhere could have eyes and ears.
Mm-hmm.
I think Severa mentioned that your family home was like that, not everywhere in the
right.
city.
Right. But we don't know where else in the city could be like that. And actually, I have a good idea. Because I told my buddies to have a good time and maybe keep an ear out for some information, I would like to use my ability off of them. I haven't done this in a while. Here is the information you previously... Oh, it's... Never mind, it's only during a rest. Never mind. Never mind. Either way, though, Lucius would like to try and figure out where a good place is to, for us to rest and regroup.
Insight's part of it. It is opposed by Silvertongue.
Yeah,
Well,
insight.
all the people who want to hear us.
Yep, insight. I do get a +1 bonus.
I have to get a critical back. There's no other way I can get around it.
Oh my god.
Nope.
Did you just get a critical result? 2 10s?
Yeah,
Oh my
I
gosh.
got 2
You got an
as well.
opportunity too.
It.
Opportunity. So, on top of this opportunity to answer before you spend your opportunity, the place to... There are a couple places that you figure. One is Rest Easy Camp, because that's where people who aren't attached... You figured that they're people who aren't attached to the Pale Syndicate in any way, they're people that Zevra is sponsoring. So you could just set up a bunch of magic tents out there, or your magic pavilion, and you'll be fine. If you want an actual room, every room you could pay money for will have listening. Either someone will be paid, there's probably a syndicate person or an informant or magical hex or whatever. So you'd have to find places that aren't where people would pay to stay. That would either be hiding out in the Broken Sanctum. You can kind of camp out in there if you didn't want to camp at Rest Easy Camp. You could convince one of the pilgrims that live in Lower Rupes to basically stay with them. You would pay money in the same way mechanically you'd pay for a night's rest, like for a full rest, but instead you're not paying for a room, you're paying to pitch in for food, or it's like, hey, I'll buy some extra cabbages if you let us sleep here. And like, sure, as long as you're willing to pitch in, we don't mind. Anywhere in Mona Secula is not safe because there's way too many people there, and Via Quaesors anywhere there, even if you're camped there, would be a bad idea. As for the Electri Ignis Porta, if you're gonna be out there, you might as well camp at Rest Easy Camp, because camping here is basically like camping out in the wilderness. You wouldn't be, because the places, these people, whatever buildings are here, people live in them. Same with Testimonium. The only place people would stay is like at the tavern, but you get the feeling this tavern is, one, probably stupid expensive, and two, there's a lot of people in pale armor around here. This place probably doesn't need spies, it just has a ton of people from that faction that stay here. They could just overhear something by accident by going to the bathroom. What's your opportunity?
I was going to say, I have a possible suggestion for an opportunity.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, this is only an idea, but since we're still in the tavern and haven't left it yet, and we're planning on where we were going, you could use Unmask to learn all of this woman's goals and motivations, since she's on the scene.
You could.
Yeah.
That would be one thing we could do. I'm not saying we should, but it's an option.
I think that's a good idea, and I can just flavor that as Lucius has been having Umbrinius and Vibius ask questions in a very particular way that doesn't give anything away, but leaves Lucius, Vibius, and Umbrinius with all the answers in that regard.
Like, you run into a lot of people who talk to her, and you're able to piece together. Each individual piece of information isn't helpful, but altogether it gives you a picture of who this person is. That woman over there is Lyria Embervale.
Okay, and we know that name.
Let's copy past it. I forgot I already put it there. Just have to feel it.
Cool.
Goals and motivations. Pull up her thing. Great. She is recruiting adventurers with these grand stories. Some of them true, most of them false. True enough that if you go up there, it makes sense, but you don't realize how much danger you're in. Like, she's telling you it's a D8 travel roll, it's actually a D20 travel roll. Like, she's hiding how dangerous it is to go. Simply because she's so strong, it doesn't much matter, but she's not letting you know, the adventurers know that. And largely, she's doing this because, for one, she does work for the Pale Syndicate, as her armor suggests. She is one of their major lieutenants, so it's part of her job to do this. She's the recruiter, even though she's not. She's recruiting people to do Pale Syndicate jobs, but, not openly doing it. However, there does seem to be another aspect to her where there's a personal goal that the Pale Syndicate is helping her get. It's not just about Zenith. There's something that she's getting. There's something special she's getting out of this because she's doing this recruiting.
Okay. Good to know. Oh, and also, didn't I need to spend Zenith in order for us to hang here?
It will cost you 10 zenith.
Okay. And I'm gonna cover Moore's as well. So 290.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, cool. Yes, Lucius said he would pay his treat. His country, and he's yes.
So, with these things in mind, with these revelations at hand, seated in the cramped confines of the Emberwitch Tavern, names are learned, plans are made, and together you will venture once more. But for now, we're going to leave it there. As you have learned of 3 villains, you've made an ally. 2 allies, actually. One whose name you don't even know yet, but the old man's nice enough as it is. And an Avantis who's actually... nice is the wrong word. Polite. Noble. Let's go with those words. And... Reasonable. But still much more to this city to uncover and discover and possibly reverse. And moreover... the fate of Coriastellum, if not the countless realms, rests upon the edge of fate that dwells high up Mount Novio. For those of you watching, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. And we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Thanks for the great
Bye.
game. Bye.
Bye.
Not one fight. Not one fight. Well, you guys have low travel rolls. I'm not shocked. I'm not even mad. It's more of a... I was like, oh, D8. Yeah, village at D8. That'll be... oh, right. It's D6 because you have a good adventure with you.
Yep.
And then discovery. I'm like, okay.
Well, that'll be a
Yes,
lot of
if you want the
XP too.
card.
That crypt of the Arcanum is gonna be
Save us a lot of time.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be important.
That was a good travel roll there.
Yeah, I actually had to think... like I said, I had to look up the notes on that. I had to figure it out and go like, oh, shoot. There's something here, I think. Oh, yeah, there it is. I wonder if they'll go look at that or not. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
They know Arcanum's important. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we know that that's important. Like, we know that the fire spirit is a greater